Even clinging too tightly to expectations can cause us misery. So I just watched It's a Wonderful Life again today with a group of adults, and we went through it as a video therapy. So we paused it and we talked about the characters, George Bailey and the others, as they go through the story, and looked at how did they respond to situations that arose, what were their attitudes, what kind of thoughts did they have, what emotions did that bring up within them, and then what were their actions, how did they respond or react to the situation. And so the character George Bailey, you see from the very beginning, he's very driven. He's got this big idea. He wants to be an explorer. He wants to travel and see the world. And so has these expectations, these goals that he uses to pull him forward, that is the reason why he works so hard, why he saves his money. But then time after time throughout the film, as soon as he's about to go on his journey, another option arises to help out his family, to help out the town, to stay and take over a company, to help out his brother. And each time he chooses to let go of his expectation and give back to the community or start a family. And so if he clung so tightly to his dreams, he may have left the town and gone on his journey, which would have been fine too. But in the hero's journey, there happens to be two hero's journeys. There's the one journey where you go and you get the treasure and you change and grow as a person to the point where sometimes we have to give up, we have to die in a sense and be reborn as we get the treasure. And so when we bring the treasure back home, we're a different person. But then the hero's second journey is the journey where you get the treasure, and then on your way back home, you are provided or presented with another choice. You can take the treasure home, or you can exchange the treasure for something else. Oftentimes it's considered you step back and you give the treasure to someone else or something like that, where it's looking at the world as in a bigger picture. And so it's not about you just achieving your goal, but it's about you becoming. It's about you serving. It's about you transcending and moving to a different level where it's not so much about you as it is about the human family. And so where you're at in your journey, where you cling to expectations, sometimes that can put us on a different path. And so by watching that movie, it just reminded me today, the importance of being open to new options as they arise. Because my life hasn't turned out how I expected it to. Yours probably hasn't turned out the way you've expected it to. And so if we cling to expectations, there's a saying that expectations lead to future disappointments, because most of the things we expect don't happen. It doesn't happen the way we expect it to. But that doesn't mean that our life isn't enjoyable. That doesn't mean we don't get what we want. Sometimes we actually get something that is better for us, that works out more for us than what we thought in the beginning. But because we had that expectation, it put us on a path that led us to that door. And so it's not the expectation so much that's the issue. It's our attachment to the expectation and not being able to be flexible and adjust when a different option presents itself that may be in alignment with your greater purpose. And so as we're coming to the end of this year, we're talking about letting go. I invite you today to consider your expectations and see if there's expectations that are not serving you, that maybe you're being presented with another option, an alternative, and maybe it's a bigger, better option. And so can you let go of your attachment? Can you let go of the attachment to the expectations you have and receive what the universe or what God is presenting to you? That maybe it may look different than what you thought. It may be different than what you expected, but that's okay. So consider that and be open to new options. Remember, you're a miracle. You have a purpose. You are here for a reason. Your life is valuable each and every step of the way. And sometimes it's in our deepest and darkest moments. Sometimes it's in our deepest valleys that we are learning the most valuable lessons that this life has to offer us. And so be grateful for each step of the journey. In the end, with George Bailey, the character, you know, he was ready to just give it all up and say, you know, I wish I never existed. The world would have been better without me in it. And he's able to see that no, in fact, the world was not better without him here. And so that flip of a switch, that swip of his perspective, all of a sudden, even it didn't change the situation. He was still missing the $8,000. There was still a warrant out for his arrest. But because of that switch of perspective, that deep valley, he was able to be grateful for it and celebrate it. He got home and he saw the police officers there. He's like, "Wow, I bet you have a warrant out for my arrest. I'm going to jail. Isn't that great?" Because he realized that going to jail was better than not existing. And so even in that moment, that perspective changed his experience. And you can do the same thing in your life. Your deep valleys can be, and actually are, very, very valuable moments for you. They're diamond mines waiting for you to receive those diamonds. You are a miracle. You have a purpose. You matter. You are worthy and you are worth it every step of the way. Thank you for being you. If today's message was for you, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Remember, I'm here every day, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.